And for more on this, we are joined by Dr. Camilla Farkas-Levin, a licensed psychologist here to help us understand how people can fall in love with things.
So actually, it's not that difficult, because if you think about it, we often have an imagination of even a live thing, let's say a person, not that we're things, but even a live person before you meet one, right? You already imagine what is your perfect partner, what is your imagination of that human being, right? So it's very, very not such a stretch to understand that our imagination also guides us in the things we choose, like the pen you like the computer program or the pet or something that is for whatever reason speaking to you, something that it touches something on the inside of you and it fills a certain need or a certain void.
But in the past, this is something that sort of sprung up. But now we're seeing AIs, we're seeing products that are specifically meant to, it seems, exploit this human need. What does this cause when it comes down to humanity and our societies?
So it's very interesting that again, I love your topics because they're touching on something that's very, very important, right? So as we have better and better technology that's developing itself in a way by now, right? We're also catching up with the ethics, let's say, and the laws and what should be allowed or shouldn't be allowed, but we're only finding it out as we go forward. So for example, yeah, there is a degree of loneliness that people do experience. And also, let's say if you have anxiety, right? It's difficult for you to connect to people or to put yourself in that situation without the proper appropriate guidance. You will be looking to how to hide behind a screen. So now if that screen all of a sudden speaks to you and seems very human and seems to exhibit caring for you, right? And we can program that already better and better, then you're even less likely to go out and actually meet an actual live human being with whom you have to deal, and they're not pre-programmed. They might not like your chicken soup.
And that's ultimately what I get at. We're holding all these fancy devices in our pocket that can seemingly do anything. They were supposed to connect us. We can be anywhere in the world in moments. But it seems every day we're becoming more isolated than ever before.
Exactly, and that's one of the reasons, right? Because like if you don't have an opportunity, like talking about something isn't enough. For example, speaking about public speaking, there are a lot of people that are really, really afraid to speak in public. And it doesn't matter how many sessions or lectures or whatever they will hear on, like no one's going to throw at you tomatoes, it's fine, it's okay, go talk. But you come out on the stage and you throw up, right? So like at some point, talking is just not enough. It's there to guide you, but at some point you need to put yourself into actual situation and know how to do that, of course. But the more isolated you are, the more you're avoiding a certain situation, the less you'll be able to cope. So that same thing goes for social and interaction and building relationships. On how do you deal with conflict? How do you deal when someone tells you that they don't like your chicken soup? Doesn't mean they don't like you. No, they probably maybe still like you, but they just don't like the soup. Maybe put less salt. Like you start to already discuss these different things and find solutions together with somebody. Now, if you don't have the opportunity to do that, then what are you going to do? How are you going to cope, right? Every situation you go out to is more and more stressful. You're less likely to go out.
And as these sort of programs and ideas become more common, how do we maintain our humanity, our realness in a world full of so many digital ghosts?
I think that's a wonderful question, and my hope for, 100 years from now when I grow up kind of a thing, is that psychology would be available and intertwined with our regular life, that people, the way we raise them, with meditative skills and coping skills and how to discuss certain issues and topics are already there from childhood, from kindergarten, right? So as we grow, the generation grows already more and more age appropriately ready to be a parent in the future or a partner to somebody else, and how you raise your children. Slowly, we're able to use the technology. It's just a tool. It's a wonderful tool, but it's kind of like a scalpel. You can either heal or you can kill someone with it. It's how you use it.
Yeah, it's definitely very concerning to see a lot of these developments because we don't really know what to do because we weren't evolved to deal with things that look like us, act like us, speak like us, but aren't us. And building that resilience seems like a huge challenge. I
think the first thing is going back to yourself. Like, how do you basically take time for yourself, sit under a tree, connect to yourself, and then it'll be easier to be balanced and connect to everybody else.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dr. Camilla, and hopefully we do see more resilient strategies for dealing with a world of so many things that aren't as they seem.
Amen.